my mother, my ma, she gave birth to me 1 month premature. They told her, oh, he looks jaundiced, he looks yellow. We need to put him in an incubator. And they carried me out of there before she could hold me, before she could name me. They carried me out. And then they came back and told her that I had died.
That's how the story of Jimmy Lippert Titan begins. Born in Chile, he says, he was stolen from his biological mother and sold to be made available for adoption by an American couple who had no idea about the truth.
They never believed for 1 second they were buying a child. They never would have done that.
It's the story of tens of thousands of children in Chile who were torn apart from their families in the 70s and 80s during the dictatorship of General Augusto Pinochet. And now, for the first time, a Chilean judge is prosecuting 5 people who allegedly were involved in the theft of babies in Chile in the 70s and 80s. As part of the investigation, the judge has determined that lawyers, priests of the Catholic Church, members of social organizations, health officials, and a judge were part of a ring that focused on abducting or stealing infants for monetary gain with the purpose of taking them out of the country to different destinations in Europe and the U.S. and charging as much as $50,000. Over the last decade, CNN has documented cases of people stolen as babies in Chile who have reunited with their biological mothers decades later after taking a DNA test to prove the relationship. Scott Lieberman, an American born in Chile, is one of them.
I didn't know what happened. I lived 42 years of my life without knowing that I was stolen, knowing what was happening down in Chile during the 70s and 80s. And I want people to know, people need to know. There are families out there that can still be reunited.
Scott Lieberman says he always knew that he was adopted from Chile. What he did not know was the whole truth about how the adoption happened. He found out that in the 70s and 80s, there had been many cases of babies stolen in Chile and sold to adoption agencies, and began to wonder if the same thing had happened to him. The government of Chile named a special prosecutor in 2015 to investigate cases of stolen babies, and then a second one who last year said that he hadn't been able to establish that any crimes had been committed. But Chilean President Gabriel Boric created a task force last year to investigate the cases and has publicly stated that many babies were stolen for a long time and handed over to foreign families in the United States and Europe. On Sunday, he announced the Chilean government will create a genetic fingerprint bank that will provide additional means of searching for origins and enable family reunification, giving hope to the many people in Chile and abroad who are still seeking long-lost families. Rafael Romo, CNN Atlanta.